Welcome to PEGIO.
Playing every game I own. In this series, I'll be covering all the PC games I
Today I will be playing STAND, which stands for Survive, Team Up, and Never Die. Yes, that is a horrible acronym, but it's not the worst, I guess. It's not good. Whatever. So, this is a game that you can see I've played already a decent amount, 8 hours, over 8 hours, and I don't know, it's been a while since I've done a game I've played. I don't think I've done one since, the first 2 videos I made, maybe 3, were games that I'd played before and knew, and I ended up just kind of explaining how the game worked most of the time, instead of, I don't know, it's easier to make the video when I'm not familiar with the game, because otherwise I just tend to explain how the game works, and that's not too interesting generally, I don't think. I think most people generally watch videos to just watch people play the game and not to have an explanation of how the game works, unless they're looking for, unless they're specifically looking for a review. Anyway, Stand is a roguelike game. It calls itself Bullet Hell Tower Defense. It has the stuff, it's none of that. It's really none of that. It's a roguelike. It is a survival roguelike, I guess. Survival is really loose term. You know what? Watching the trailer, I didn't think about doing the flamethrower with the overload. I wonder if that does make it any better. You'll see here that it has mixed reviews. You'll see why that is. You'll see why the game has mixed reviews for sure. Hold on, I have a cat meowing. Am I in my room again? It has its stuff listed here. I don't think there's anything really that important. 75 weapons and items. See, the and items is the thing here, right? There's not 75 weapons. There's just 75 weapons and items. Permanent skill upgrades, which, you know, it's a roguelike, so of course there are things that you can put points into that make the overall game easier, even though I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel like it really makes that much of a difference. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Multiple difficulty modes, 5 chapters, character customization, achievements, endless replayability. No, roguelikes love to say that they're just endlessly replayable because it's, you know, it's a roguelike. There's randomized stuff, there's different things you could do. It doesn't make it endlessly replayable. At a certain point, you've figured out your system for playing the game, and you figured out that any kind of interesting thing you want to try just doesn't work, and therefore it's not as fun. Now I guess it's not every roguelike. It is just a problem with a lot of them. You get into this position where you have a couple builds you can do and nothing else really seems to work. And now with free update, that's obviously supposed to be update. There was a free update that added a little expansion, the Plagues of Oblivion expansion. The features of the Oblivion expansion, 60 new weapons, spells, and items. Again, remember, all that together. We'll get into that stuff once I've shown, well, I don't know, do I even want to show the regular? That's gonna take a lot of time. Do I want to do both? I might just want to talk about it after I play the normal game. New skills, 3 new chapters. Chapters, by the way, are just levels. There's no story. I don't know why they're called chapters. It's really not. Let me start the game first, okay? I need to start the game first. Let's just dive into this because I'm starting to talk about it without you being able to see it, and that's just not as nice as being able to see what I'm talking about. So you'll see here that there's little arrows, and you can change whether you want to play the regular game or the expansion. And it changes the little symbol in the middle, even though this one doesn't make it look like an A, or this one actually doesn't make it look like an A either. You know what the name of the game is, so you just autofill, that's fine. He has this nice little roadmap that he wants for 2026, right? And what's been added and what hasn't yet. Are you gonna play in that box and make a bunch of noise? I hope that's not too loud. I'm not gonna stop him, I'm gonna let him play in his box. That doesn't seem to pick up too bad on the mic. There's the achievements, you know, you got your very, very basic options here. I am gonna turn the music down a little, actually. Maybe a little more. This game's pretty loud. You know what? I've never had the damage text on because it says, oh, it causes problems. We'll see how it runs with it. The music's weird. I'm gonna go ahead and complain about this because it doesn't always play. Sometimes, you ready to go back out now? You're bored? Oh, okay. You're bored? Ready to go back out? But sometimes I'll be playing the game for 5-10 minutes and then suddenly music will start and it will just completely have skipped my mind because I normally watch other stuff or have other stuff playing while I play games. I usually have some kind of background audio, whether it's a podcast or music or a show or something, or other people. Usually there's something else going on. It's not just the game, so I don't always notice. But yeah, 5 or 10 minutes in, the game will start playing music, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot this game had music. And it's just it was so much louder than everything else that, Yeah, no, I forget. Like now, the song stopped, and now it's just quiet. It's not playing another song immediately. A little annoying things that these menus just kind of stay up until you click something else. I mean, I guess it's fine. It's whatever. So since you pick with this one, when you hit play, it throws you into another menu where the only thing that changes this stuff over here, the background's the same. Right, it's weird. Even when you click Plagues of Oblivion, the background is the same. The only thing that changes are your options here. So you have your outfit you can pick. So we're gonna go ahead and clear everything so that you can see how this works. They do have both, and the thing is that they get different outfits, different items, which, I mean, you know, makes sense, I guess, but still. Look, she starts out with like helmets and stuff, has some different looking ones. Okay, so she does have the same stuff, it's just the ranks lay it out differently. So as you'll notice, when I click through these, well, there's two problems with this. One, none of this matters whatsoever. It doesn't change anything. Nothing's different. There's no reason to have an avatar here in the first place because it just doesn't matter. But the other issue you'll see is that whenever you pick anything, it's layered over with transparency. Everything just stacks and you can see through it, which sucks. It sucks because then you instinctively want to pick the darker colored stuff so that you don't see through it. And even the darker colored stuff, you can see here, the underwear is black. You can just see straight through it. It doesn't matter. So it's just that's just bad. Yeah, that's just bad. But that's why I just stick with this one. It's a full body cover, which the male does not have, and you unlock it really low rank, so it's not that big a deal. See, he doesn't have that. Oh, that's just anyway. He doesn't have that full cover, so there's nothing that really looks that good for him. This looks particularly great, but you can still see the bra through it, and you can still see the bald head through it, which is why I still put on hair, because look, you can see the hair comes around the edges. It doesn't put hair here, adds it a little darker, so you don't just see a bald head through it. Although you can put on this, makes it a little darker, a little better. And then the bottom, I put on these pants, and you'll see the little pocket comes out the side. It's not really noticeable. None of this matters, though. None of this matters. I'm sitting here talking about it when none of it matters. It doesn't matter. Who cares? You have your stats here. So I guess despite having played 8 hours, I do know that some of this was spent in a menu with the game just running while I did something else. There's a lot of games like that. But you'll see that my actual playtime is 4 hours and 42 seconds, so only half. And I guess that's because this is one of those games where you can pause. You can pause the action to decide what you want to do, and if you want to change your builds and stuff, you can do that. Looking at these numbers, I am now realizing just how useless many of the items are. Like, don't get me wrong, some of these have higher numbers because I clearly pick them more often, but just based on all the things that I don't pick very often, it seems like some of them really don't matter that much. That's enough of that. Let's get into this. So you'll see here's our chapters, put quotations around that. If you scroll over the image, it'll give you, you know, a little paragraph, and I guess that's your chapter. None of it matters. It has no bearing on anything whatsoever. Who cares? It's irrelevant. You'll see you have your quest, which doesn't explain anything and doesn't tell me anything, but it's based on how many items you get from chests, and it slowly fills up. I don't know what happens when you get 3 stars on it. I don't know what any of this means. None of it is explained. No idea. Then you have your difficulty here, and it'll show you the difficulties you've cleared everything on. As you'll see, I only have 2 of them that are cleared on normal, and you'll see why, because I'm going to try one of these on hard. Because playing one of these other chapters on normal, it's so difficult. The difficulty spike is different because on normal they will start sending waves of enemies, of big enemies with lots of health and with unique properties that aren't explained. We'll get to that later. They'll send a big wave of those in a giant circle around, and they'll just close in and kill you, and I don't know what to do about it. Clearly some people have figured out the game with these numbers over here, but I'm going to show you that's not an easy feat. There is a tutorial. I'm not going to click it. I'm going to tell you what it is. The tutorial tells you exactly what I'm going to tell you, which is here's the merchant. You can buy stuff. Here are your upgrades. This is where you click your skills and stuff. Drag and drop your gear onto your people to give them the item. It's that simple. All right, we're going to play The Crossing of the Dead on hard. Hopefully I'll be able to clear it. If not, we'll see. So here's the game. You'll see that it is very simple looking. These guys don't even really look like they're there. They look like what they are, just plastered on top of it, moving towards you. You always just start with a Glock. Now, the reason I have these other 2 maps that I can actually win on normal is because on both of those maps, there's only 2 directions for enemies to come from, not counting these flying enemies. There's only 2 directions you have to worry about, instead of it being a 360, which means your options for how you approach stuff are a little different. Now, I guess I should go ahead and pause by hitting space, but the buttons are over here. A lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, which is over here you have your health, 90 out of 90. What's over here, you can scroll over this one because you can buy it. Is shield, which is just, you know, health. It's just additional health. It increases how much it costs every time you buy it. You have your timer over here. You have your money. You have how many kills you have. These are your skill points. These are the skills you can get. Here's your gear. Here's the merchant guy, the trader, whatever. You can buy stuff from. These are your items. So you have all that. I need to go ahead and pick my skills. Not a whole lot of options here. But I know what weapon I'm going to be looking for. I know what kind of build I like. At least for one of my people. So knowing what that is, I'm going to go ahead and pick Storm to go for lightning damage. And these skill points I have, I start with them because in the main menu, which I forgot to show, there is a thing, you get a certain amount of points for beating, you know, for every run. And then you can spend those on the roguelike stuff, which is to give yourself upgrades. Like, you don't start with 90 health, I just have it upgraded. You don't start with armor, I have it upgraded. You don't start with skills, I have it upgraded. And you can upgrade your damage for all the different damage types. And that's pretty much it. Nothing super interesting going on there, in all reality. Now you'll notice I didn't say what this is, this little orb here with the number on it. And that's because I don't know. I have no idea what that is at all. I'm thinking about it now, seeing that it's such a low number. Maybe it's the number of waves that you've gone through, but I don't know. It's not explained at any point. It's just there. So I don't know what that number means. Zoom out, zoom in. All right, it just went up to 3, and there was that noise. So I'm gonna assume that that is what it is the wave, the spawning of a new wave or something. All right, so keep in mind, I just turned the numbers on to see. So this is my first time seeing damage numbers. As you'll notice, there's no health bars or anything above the enemy's heads. I have no idea how much damage it takes to kill any enemy. I have no idea how much health they have. And before I turn these numbers on, I didn't know how much damage anything does. Nothing tells you. I'll scroll over. Look, I can scroll over my weapons. It tells me it's a weapon, what type of damage it does, and that's it. It doesn't tell me damage. It doesn't tell me reload speed. It doesn't tell me fire rate. It doesn't tell me ammo capacity. I don't know that until I equip it. It doesn't tell you anything about these weapons. You just kind of have to feel it out. You have to guess, you have to try it and see if it works for you or not. Likewise, your equipment you can get here. So this one, the bear trap, says it stuns enemies and applies bleeding. It doesn't tell you how long it stuns enemies. It doesn't tell you how long the bleed effect is or how much damage the bleed does. It does not tell you how often you spawn it. It doesn't tell you anything. What I figured out, however, is you have your rarity scale, which is no, or this black outline, or no outline, whatever you want to call it. Then the blue one, then there is a pinkish purple one, and then there is a yellow one. Those are your rarities. It doesn't tell you, for a lot of this stuff, how different that is. You'll see here for the infusions, though. For the infusions, it does tell you the damage that it adds, and it does tell you. So every rarity that goes up, it's only like 1 more damage. So it really isn't. The rarities don't seem to matter all that much. Like, I don't know if the rarities for the weapons changes their damage or anything else. The only thing I know that it changes is ammo capacity. That's the only thing I know that is different. I don't know if they do more damage. I don't know if they fire faster or reload faster or any of that. But I do know that they hold more rounds. So another thing that's going on is you get these little chests up here in the corner. And you just click them a whole bunch. And they'll give you these items that fulfill your quest thing or whatever and give you experience for more levels. That's it. I don't know why you have to click them. It should just be automatic. It's kind of just another thing to make you think that there's more gameplay, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't do anything. I just noticed that my timer is going up. On easy and normal, it goes down. Your objective is to survive a certain amount of time. I guess hard is actually just an endless mode, which explains how people got such ridiculously high scores now, like in the millions. Because I was like, well, how long does hard last? An hour or so for them to get that high of a score? But no, okay, it's just endless. All right, I'm going to put in my skills. This one's poison, but I'm going to keep buffing Storm, which is electrical damage. You'll see it does this really weird thing where it gives you, it upgrades your base damage, then a percentage of your damage, but it doesn't tell you what that is. You'll never know that total number unless you see it hit an enemy and you have it turned on to show numbers when it hits an enemy. Otherwise, you'll never know. And stun duration. It doesn't tell you how long that stun duration is, just that you're increasing it by a percentage. Oh my gosh. You want back in? You're just gonna wander around and see stuff and want back out. It's what you've been doing. So you'll see here the skills also have the color outlines. For example, this contagious is pink, whereas this one is white. So this one only increases it by +1 and then 2.5%, whereas this one does 3 and 7.5%. So it's definitely better to get your more upgraded skills. It's definitely better to always get the higher rarity thing. But those numbers are so low that it doesn't really feel like it matters all that much, which is both good and bad, right? I'm going to keep buffing Storm, and then you run into situations where you have, like, I don't really care for this volcano because I'm not going to use explosives, which is annoying, but it is what it is. There are items you can get to re-roll that, but you can also see that I can just pay whenever I want to re-roll my entire table, which is nice because it means if, for example, you only have 2 down here you want and then nothing up here matters, you can just grab those 2 and then re-roll the table. It does become more expensive every time you do it, of course, but at least that's nice. However, this early on, that's kind of expensive. How much longer does this have? 20 seconds. I'll go ahead and buy this weapon. So what's really annoying is that you have to drag and drop. You cannot double click or anything. Selling stuff, the only thing that determines how much it costs is its rarity. Nothing else. Doesn't matter what item it is, it's just rarity. Alright, our new skill table looks pretty garbage because I don't care about this. I don't plan on getting that much equipment. Oh, there is a close combat. I could do melee. I guess I'll go this way and buff some melee. See, now this one looks good. This one looks pretty good. I don't care about the explosive, so that's unfortunate, but I do care about overstock. Because overstock is ammunition and reload speed. Those really matter. So I'll probably go up the center, then the left, and then grab the fire on top. Alright, that's enough stalling and talking. Play it, hit double speed, see how long it lasts. Okay, so it looks like from the weapon I had to this one, my damage has more than doubled. But how would I ever know that unless I had the numbers turned on? That coin sound effect is letting me know that the trader has restocked. I do want this, it's a promotion. You also have to unlock all your slots. You have to pay to unlock slots for your people. I'm going to take this because it gives me more experience. Click over here, get the experience from that. We level up. We've already leveled up a lot. Boom, boom. Dead shot gives you fire rate and precision. I don't know what precision is. It seems like... I really don't know what that is because it seems like you always hit your target. I don't ever see them really miss unless the enemy dies before the bullet hits it. So I don't know what the point is. The fire rate, though, you know, that's good. So what I just got there are shop rerolls. This right here. If I don't like what it is, it does reset the timer to 1 minute though. So it's usually, at least if you're doing the countdown, it's best to time it with a rollover or with a restock. So for example, I'd pause here, and if I don't want this and I want to use a restock, I'd use it now so that I don't add new time on. Looks like there's an ice infusion. That's nice. Ooh, another overstock. There is a luck one though. I think I'm gonna go with the overstock, then do the dead shot, keep buffing poison, grab another equipment. I'll probably go for the shooters because they increase gun damage. Another thing is I don't know what that means. I don't know if gun damage applies to every gun you get, like every weapon, every ranged weapon, or if it only applies to ballistic firearms. Like, I don't know, does gun damage affect the grenade launcher? Does it affect the RPG? Maybe. They're explosive. Now, if it said kinetic damage, that'd be nice because these say kinetic weapons, and there's an item you can get that increases kinetic damage, but they don't say kinetic damage, they say gun damage. I assume it's the same thing. I assume these only affect the guns that do kinetic damage instead of all gun damage. Like over here, we have the cryoblaster that increases that does ice damage. I assume it doesn't increase this weapon's damage, even though it is another gun. This one shoots ice projectiles, so it's different. So I assume it's kinetic, but it would be really nice if it actually said that instead of just saying gun. It would really be nice if all these little tooltips that pop up gave me numbers. so I'd know what's going on. It'd also be nice if over here on my person, I could see anything. If I could see my reload speed, you know, all the things that would change when I equip different items. It'd be nice if I could see those totals somewhere. This bar over here is your rank, which doesn't matter because all it changes is the stuff that you can put on your avatar here that doesn't matter because this is the only time you'll see it aside from changing what they're wearing. Which also, why does it matter what they're wearing on the bottom when you can't even see it while you're playing? And then your items over here that you get also have their own rarity, which is the color in the background, which determines how much experience you get from them. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. I will probably go for Deadshot again, and then I'll go for Kick. Gives you Repulsion, which is just, the repulsing is just pushing people away, right? It's just knockback. I do want this Screwdriver. You'll see there was an exclamation point above my tower. It means I got a new person. The base weapon is garbage, so I always replace it and sell it. Now you can move things between your guys, like weapons, you can change out, but I'm going to show you why you don't do that. So I'll swap these two weapons, and you'll see this one, he got the full ammo. This one is on 0, and my person's not reloading. So if I do this, only one person actually gets to use the weapon. I have to move it back into my gear, then drag it back. Then they can use the weapon normally. And I don't know, but it might affect equipment and abilities as well. Like if I swap this promotion and a Screwdriver, does that mean that I'm going to lose my experience buff or I'm going to lose my reload speed on one of these people? I don't know, because I don't see those numbers. I don't know if they change or not. So that means every time you want to swap anything between your people, you want to drag it back to your gear, then drag it here. You never just want to swap the items out. It's really slow and really annoying. I mean, you can pause the game, right? So it's not that big a deal. You can stop and do it, but it's annoying to have to do it. This other item I just got, this blue one, allows you to reroll skills. I don't use them all that often unless it's say these were all, both of these, or this one was like a really rare overstock, but this one was a radiation, one of the radiation ones that I'm not going in, and I was still at 0 on it. Then I would use it because it'd give me a chance of getting something that I am putting points into. Like no, I already have poison, so I'll just stick with it. So I've only used the Cryo Blaster once, and I don't think I've used the Plague Caster at all, just because I've kind of already found what I like, and none of the weapons seem to really, I don't know, I don't feel incentivized to try anything different. You kind of just go with whatever you're given for the round. So let's see. I have great storm damage, okay poison, really good explosive, actually. Crap, I might actually want to grab explosive. I have melee, equipment, and then just 11 fire. So grabbing the poison gun here, Plague Caster, might not be the worst idea. I can just put it on my next person. I will say things like the Win 94, the sniper rifle, that are low rates of fire but high damage, don't seem worth it. There's another item you have to get and put on your person that makes them target the thing with the most health, but I don't get to see the health, so I don't even know if that works right. And what if the one with the most health is hidden behind other enemies? Then you need the items that make it go through enemies. You have to be lucky, right, to get the things of certain rarities that you want, that you need for the build, so you're taking a lot of chances when you grab the rifle. I don't like it. I think it's too slow, and it just doesn't do anything. You'd be better off getting a minigun and doing the crit damage, or there's an item that increases damage based on how many bullets have been fired. You stack that on the minigun, and then you can have him target the thing with the most health. And that would be much better than the stupid rifle, which, I mean, you can increase the crit on the rifle and do the thing where there's another item that lets you, every time you crit, it adds ammunition to the weapon, and it adds more ammunition based on rarity. So you can go for that, but again, you're counting on getting a high rarity rifle, a high rarity crit buffer, and then a high rarity crit to ammo thing. And if you don't get all of those, then you're screwed. And you wasted all that money on something you're not even getting things for. I mean, I get it, that's part of how roguelikes work, but you know, normally roguelikes give you a lot of ways to kind of get you the build you want. You can kind of guide the randomness, you can control it somewhat to help go for certain builds. And that's just absent here. You're just given what you're given. There is no way to change. I mean, I could change with my luck thing. I could change the rarities that might show up, but even the prices are randomized to some extent. It doesn't say that because I've seen the same items of the same rarity with different prices. So not enough stuff is explained in this game. It really needs more explanation. And I should not that I even know that there is one for this, but I should not have to look up a wiki to find out all the information on your items for your roguelike game. Anyway, I'm gonna buy the Plaguecaster, and we'll go from there. You'll notice I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm gonna wait for the next person I get, and I'll stick it on them. Now we'll hit our time forward again, and just sit and wait. I do hate that there's only this. I wish it could go even faster, because this feels slow sometimes, when all you're waiting is for the next restock. I do want more overstock. The thing is, with it only showing me damage numbers, that means I need to count every damage number. I need to count all of that to know how much health an enemy has if I want to keep up with it. Taking the range increase. Tempted to take this chainsaw because I know I want a chainsaw, and it's not the lowest rarity. I guess I will. Grab my poisons. Oh, you can get these gems too that add to us, that give another percentage to the damage. I don't think it tells you when you click your little satchel here to show the skills you do have. I don't think it shows you. Yeah, see, these both say 12.5, which is only counting the buff from me getting the skill. That doesn't count the gems on the side, so I don't know if they work. I don't know, because you don't see your damage anywhere except for when it's happening, so who knows? Oh, is that ice or electric? It's electric. You know, the problem is they have a lot of the same colors, right? Bleed and fire are both red. Shock and ice are both blue. So you kind of have to scroll over and just get used to which ones are which. I am going to go back here, and I'm going to, I guess I'll pay for his and add the range onto him with the SMG for now. Another thing I don't know is, or I don't know for sure, I think it works by doing it to the whole group. Oh man, not a lot of, it's all pretty low rarity, so I don't care. Also, damage numbers don't seem to matter if every time I get a crit, it just says crit and not the amount that the crit was in red. So, yeah, that's great. I don't know if, for example, this plus 50% XP gain, does it only work when this is the one that kills, or does it work for when this person kills too? Because there's one that increases the amount of money you get for kills. I don't know if it affects the whole group. I think it affects the whole group. I don't know if it affects the whole group or only this person specifically, because the range and the screwdriver right only affect this person. So it's weird that you'd have stuff that affects the whole group too, but they have to be equipped to a person. Oh, I do plan on getting a flamethrower, so I probably want this one. And after that, I guess I'll go with equipment. I don't plan on doing bleed. I got a third person. Oh, do I want any of this? No, I already have weapons. We're gonna see if the Plaguecaster's any good. Multiple rounds. What was that number? I didn't see it. Okay, all the numbers freeze at the very least. I think I'm gonna get close enough for the Plaguecaster. Will I be paying attention when it happens instead of clicking one of these stupid chests or something? I do wish there was another button to speed it up, because if you pause it, and then if you hit space to pause and you hit space to play, that's it. It doesn't go up in speed. You have to go click it again. It doesn't automatically go back to double speed. So I do wish there was something there. I'm not paying attention. What are those numbers? So here we have a highest rarity item. There are a couple items that only exist at the highest rarity. The one that tells them to, the Tactician, which tells them to kill or target the enemy with the most health, is the highest rarity. So is this backfire option. You can't get them in lower rarities. I am going to go ahead and buy the backfire. I need it for the kind of build that I prefer to go for. I have a poison and bleeding infusions. I'll probably grab the poison one because I have buffed stuff for it. I have buffed equipment as well, and leg breaker's high rarity, but I don't know how much damage it does or anything like that, but I'll take it anyway. The Hell Zone, I hate. The Hell Zone sucks. It fires a missile and it just spins around. It spins around this here. Why can't I zoom in? Why can't I zoom in or out of the map? Why is it not working? I'm hitting tab as well to close the thing and it's not working. Now I'm hitting space and it wasn't working. Okay, now I can do it. What was the why? Why was that not working? Like now I just hit tab and now I can't do it again. Now I can hit tab. Now I can't. I have to click back onto the screen. I have to click back in the middle area to close the menu once I bring it back up. Oh my, that is messy. That's messy. Anyway, the Hell Zone, it'll just spin around the building and then blow up in a random area and do damage of random elemental type. That's not, I don't care for it. It sucks. Looks like the Playcaster does decent damage. It's not much, but I'm gonna go ahead and buy another XP gain because skills, I feel like, are a large part of where it's at. I'm gonna grab the equipment buff, more electric, more fire, that's good. I don't have anything doing fire yet though, that's not good. How much money do I have? Plenty. Actually, with that plenty I have, I'm gonna go ahead and lock everyone's slots. Throw this on there. Oh, is there anything else I want? Not really. I don't like it when it's this just low rarity. So here's the dumb equipment. It's just a spinny blade thing with a short animation and doesn't... Hey, what are you doing down there? Doesn't look very good. Oh, but I can see damage on it finally. And I can see that that is... Okay, so it just applies bleeding. It doesn't do damage on its own. That is really low damage. That does not seem worth it. Does it slow enemy? Ooh! Flamethrower of a higher rarity. I'll take that. Oh, do I want any of this other stuff? Not particularly. Oh, what do we got here? I'm gonna go for more gun, more equipment, and instead of explosives, I'm actually gonna go for more health on my building. I bought a flamethrower, didn't I? Yes, I did. So we'll grab the flamethrower, and actually we're gonna steal the range increase and put it on the flamethrower. Oh, and while we have it, actually I'm going to put the backfire on the flamethrower as well, so it'll fire out both sides. See, that the flamethrower works better for like this, because there are only two sides for enemies to come from, so I'm always going to hit both sides of the flamethrower. That's smart. I have not tried the overload where it spins in circles around the building to see if that actually helps with the flamethrower. I've tried it with other weapons and it seems stupid. I don't really know. Now, the rarity for the equipment makes them place it down faster. I don't know if it does anything else different, but it makes them place it more often in random locations. Okay, the flamethrower's doing high damage. Oh, I remember. When I'm checking saws and applies bleeding. It doesn't say it slows it down or anything. It does not appear to slow it down. So all it does is put bleeding on them, which doesn't do much damage. It seems not worth it in the slightest, actually. Plus 50% equipment damage, and that's all it's doing is 5. I guess it only counts grenades and molotovs. Is that the only thing it increases? It doesn't increase the damage of other equipment that goes down. So my chainsaw and my flamethrower are going to have very similar builds, where they're both going to have backfire. They need reload speed as well. I like the Playcaster so far, so we'll actually buy another one of those. Everything else is too low rarity, I don't care. And we'll replace that lower level one with a higher level one. Sell a bunch of skills. I'm gonna pop that. I don't want radiation. Boom, I'll take that. I haven't gotten any crits. Ooh. Oh, but it's too low rarities. I don't want bleed. So actually, I think I'll go this way. Nope. See, oh. That slowdown does not happen when you don't have the numbers up. Yeah, no, I wanted to click to take what was there, and instead I accidentally re-rolled it, which is really annoying that that's just another icon, this tiny little icon. So now I'm forced to get something I don't want, and I wanted to re-roll one of these. I really wanted to re-roll this one, but now I can't, so I'll just take that. That's annoying. That's the first time I've ever had the game slow down. So these numbers definitely make it slow down, which means the only way to tell what's happening damage-wise makes the game borderline unplayable. So that's awesome. That's really good. The only low rarity things I'll buy are the range increases, generally. I'm gonna take this off you. I want higher reload or on you. So I want that flamethrower to just keep going with its damage. Also, it looks like the Plague Caster hits multiple enemies that are all like close to each other. That would be nice to know. It doesn't tell me that. It just says applies poison. I didn't know that it meant like on a bunch of people. There's the tactician thing. I don't see any real reason to take it. There's a fire rate increaser. Don't see the point in that. It looks like it's running okay. Was it because I was running at double speed that it started falling apart? Yeah, looks like that might have been part of it. So this little cone you see here, that's the melee attack. They don't actually have their own animation, it's just a click sound with a cone to show you where the damage was applied. So there's a better leg breaker, but I don't really care for it. It doesn't really do anything but apply a very crappy bleed. There's the money increase, I don't think I really need it. I'll take the treasure hunter, I'll take the poison buff. What do I have that does a lot of damage? Fire, but I'm already doing fire. So here's where I'm going to start losing health because the enemies are on top of it. You'll notice that if enemies get close enough, certain weapons, not all of them, just won't target them anymore. So you have to have melee. I don't know why that is. It's not explained, but it's the thing. There seems to be a minimum range on some of the weapons. Wait, why are they all taking significantly less damage now? Or is that 100? I just can't really see the whole number. That might be what it is. That is what it is.
That is what it does. Hard agreed.
Poison mines, you know what? I'll take it. Maybe if I have it on the poison guide, I'll do more damage. I don't know. I don't know if those affect equipment or not. I guess I'll take the range increase off of you, put it on the melee weapon, which makes no sense, but it does work that way. Do know that. We have a fire damage increase, but I already have what I want. I'm a fire person. It's not max rarity, so whatever. More explosive damage I don't want, and then more luck that I do want. What do we got here? I kind of want to take the crit things. I don't have any. And more repulse should be good. More knockback's nice. Poison and fire seem to be really what's carrying everything right now. Oh yeah, you can't run it at a higher speed if you have the numbers on. That's what the issue is. You have to play it at normal speed. You can't play it any faster or it falls apart. That's annoying. I'm going to take the crit though. Buff. What do we have this time? Yeah, I'll take that. I might need it later. I'll take that. I have to dump all my skill. Yep, that's okay. I'm dying really quick here. See, it'd be much easier and better if these just open themselves instead of making me click them. Okay, there's only 8 seconds left, but I have some rerolls, so we're gonna start burning through those. See if I can get what I want. Ooh, nice crit buffer. Don't really know if there's anything else. A lightning damage buff. Might need that. If I get what I want. It's a low level, but I probably need serial killer. Ooh, there's another backfire, definitely need that. The melee damage buff, need that. My bleed is too low for me to want that. Yeah, it's pretty high, so I guess I should grab mines, actually. I don't know if I'll be able to save myself here. Mess around what we have now. We have a crit damage. Screw the leg sweepers, put the crit damage on him. Melee damage. It looks like I'm just going to have to drop all of these. live yet. Serial killer should go on you. But you can't equip 2 boosters. I didn't know that was a thing until right now. Okay. So you can't have fire infusion and serial killer. Now serial killer, you'll see, says randomly changes weapon damage for each bullet. Doesn't tell you by how much, doesn't tell you the range, none of that. Just, yeah, it randomly changes the damage. Doesn't tell me if it can do less damage or not. Just tells me it randomly changes it. We're gonna go ahead and put this over the fire thing though. And then we'll also stick the mines on him. Hopefully not die here. If we get too much closer, I'll start buying armor. Hopefully survive a little longer. Alright, there we go. I guess I can go ahead and burn through the rest of these rerolls, seeing as we're on endless. I can take an RPG, but what would I replace? I guess the minigun. But the minigun has crit and serial killer on it now. So it should be better. Oh, I already used all of them. Okay. Doesn't appear to actually help it. So it says it randomly changes weapon damage for each bullet. What it means, now that I'm looking at it, is it randomly changes weapon damage type for each bullet, not damage. So it's randomly picking an element to do damage with. Well, guess what? Unless all of them are upgraded equally, that's stupid. So I'm going to get rid of that, actually. That is dumb. That's what it does.
That does what it do.
Finally. Oh, finally. What I've been waiting on. Alright. How far is it? 14? I need to be able to change stuff to explosive damage. Seems to be the real thing I need. It's the highest. So we're actually going to swap these 2 back. Because just doing fire damage is going to do better for me than doing random ones that I don't have upgraded at all. Probably won't be able to switch back to this. I don't care about the leg breaker. So here's the question, is do I keep the plague caster? Or which do I drop? Do I drop the plague caster or the minigun? I want to keep the, or do I just drop the chainsaw? Honestly, I think I should drop the chainsaw and just keep the stuff for it for when I actually get closed in on, and then pause and swap it out. As long as that isn't happening, I think I should give them the chain strike, the lightning rod, and the ghost. So ghost says it pierces more energies, but if you read chain strike, it says that piercing increases maximum targets because it does a bounce, it does a chain lightning effect. Which is the weapon I usually take, because look, it clears so many enemies. It's so good for these really close ones. Only thing is, it has a low fire rate, low ammunition, right? So see, the flying enemies, they still sit in a whole circle around, but these big enemies would normally be a circle around my guys. But here, they're lined up to where I can hit all of them. I can do damage to all of them, or most of them, at one time, rather than being all the way around me, and they have to pick and choose whichever one's closest. It's not really helping me. Again, I can't see how much health they have. So, nope, never mind. Cleared them out. It was fine. Another equipment damage, that's fine, because I have the mines, the plague mines. Oh, I can do more explosive damage and lightning. I've been doing the electrical because I wanted to get the chain strike. It's nice to be able to have that. Oh yeah, sticking the fire on the minigun, much better option. Way better damage than randomly applied things. Alright, so they're close now, so we're going to swap. That's right, you can't swap the other way, you have to do it this way. Boom. There, they're close all the close enemies got killed, so we'll swap back. If the trader has any of the stuff I need. No. A fire infusion. It is better than the one I have, so. Although, should I have bought the poison one? No, the fire. No, okay, fire's higher than poison. So we'll sell this one and put a better version of it on that adds at least one more damage. I'll probably go for the health and the overstock because overstock's the best. Reload speed, good. Always reload speed. So here's what I was talking about. So plus 50% damage every 10 bullets. That's pretty good. But it could be, 150% damage every 10 bullets, which would be really good with the minigun. And if I had the highest level minigun and I had the ammo increase with it, but I'd want all the highest rarities for that. Just like I want a higher rarity of the punch, which adds more knockback, which is good for the melee build. But there's no point in getting like it feels like I feel like I don't want to waste time and money on the lower level versions of stuff. I want the highest rarity option. Which I don't know if it really matters that much for that. I know it does for this one, because it's an increase of like 50% damage for every rarity. Like, it's really good. Oh, anything I want here? No. Ooh, I'll take that, though. Another thing. These enemies that, like, are colored differently, have different colors, different shading. Like, these guys, instead of being white, are red. I don't know if that means... Okay, it does mean that. I didn't know that meant that. The game doesn't explain that, and the only way to know is if you have the numbers turned on. If you have the numbers turned on, you can't play at double speed. The game's slower. It's less fun to play at slower speeds, because you have to sit here and wait. But now I can clearly see that since these guys are red, they're not taking fire damage, which means having two things that do fire damage is bad for me right now. Can I get something that changes? Yes, something that changes to explosive damage. And we're about to change the flamethrower, because I don't need the range buff now, to explosive damage. And we're going to take the fire damage off of the minigun. Unfortunately, I don't have a replacement for that. I guess I should make it explosive. I don't know, though. Sit. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, it'd be nice if I knew that, and it'd be nice if I knew which colors are which, because if they show up and they're blue, is that frost or shock? I don't know, unless I have the damage numbers turned on, and if I do, then my game runs slower. So I don't want the damage numbers on. Also, I didn't know, like, I've seen the purple ones before, and I know that's radiation, but I didn't know if that meant they take reduced damage from radiation. I thought it was like a 50% damage reduction. I didn't realize it was immunity. Yeah, no, it being damage immunity still doesn't explain why it's so hard, because I always get killed by the radiation giants despite never using radiation damage type. So I don't know. Oh, I'd really like to hit double speed, but I can't. I'm not allowed.
I'm not allowed to eat it with the skin. I'm not allowed.
But I can take the explosive damage off that. Put that on the minigun, I guess. What do we have? Nothing really. I guess I'll buy different damage types just so I have them, right? Now that I know what it means. I'm getting such a rarity. I'm not getting any higher rarities. Except for these ones that you can only get. Like, they only exist in max rarity. Oh, I want that overstock one, that gun damage. But I probably need that equipment damage more. I don't know, the explosive still helps. Oh good, here comes the slowdown. Oh, what do we have over here? I can't even get a look, a real good look. Oh, this is awful. That's the worst. It doesn't... It doesn't do that. No matter how many enemies I've seen on screen before, if you don't have the numbers up, it doesn't do that. That is so bad. Why? There are plenty of other games. They Are Billions exists, where you can see health bars of enemies when they're throwing millions of enemies at you. Why can this not handle damage numbers being shown? It's just rough. All right, so we have a higher one, so this will be one. Okay, so this was 75% damage. So I guess I'll take that one. And the 25% max ammo. But then I can't stick damage. Only having 3 slots for anything sucks. Right, because I want someone to be placing equipment down, but then their weapon doesn't really matter because I can't do anything with their weapon. So for instance, now I guess I'm going to take the damage buffers off so that I can have more stuff going on, right? Because I want to stick the box ammo and the gate breaker on the minigun. But then I have to get rid of the crit because I want to keep the damage type. So I guess we're taking the damage buffs off. And the crit is going to do better than the damage buff, I feel like. Plus 75% damage versus plus 10% crit. I don't know, it's just kind of whatever. I don't think it really matters all that much, to be quite honest. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it matters how much you stack gun damage. It's just not nearly as good as doing elemental damage, which is pretty lame. Oh, I think I'm actually going to go with the overstock and explosive. And then, do I want to do melee and fire, or do I want to do crit or pulse? Probably crit or pulse. Ooh, a better version of the mines. Take that. Yeah, there's your kinetic damage buff. But notice how this one only changes the damage to kinetic. It doesn't add damage like the elemental ones do. And it only increases it by 15%. And they all do such less damage than the elemental ones. It doesn't seem like it's worth it. Now, can I pause? Okay, so if I can pause and turn it off at any time, save and resume, that's weird. So now I can do it. I have the numbers off. Now I can run it, there's no issue, it's fine. It's so wild. So these would be more fire immunity guys, right? So which means I want to dump. I don't know which one would be the best, probably the venom. This for that. Or the radiation. Well, no, because I don't think I have radiation buffed enough for that to really matter. Yeah, who cares? And then there's these enemies that I'm seeing now for the first time. What are they immune to? I don't know. Not what I have, though, I guess. So it's fine. Oh, dude, everything's just regular rarity. Why? I guess how low is my luck? Probably very. Only increased it a little bit. Yeah, 15%. That's not that low, but still. See, but now the problem is I have to switch the numbers back on if I want to see that this is better than the explosive damage being on my minigun. And I don't want to switch the numbers back on because it slows down the whole game. These guys have a yellow tinge. Are they immune to explosive damage? I'd say not, the way they're getting hit. Ooh. Bad. About to die here. Oh, wow, that was a sudden breakdown. All those enemies just came straight through. I guess I ran out of mines. Oh, there's the handyman. Sorry, I was kept looking for the handyman, but I kept getting the blacksmith. They're not side by side. I think the difference is the hammer. What the hammer looks like. Is that the difference in the icon? Is this one's a wooden mallet? The other one's like just a regular mallet, a metal mallet, whatever. too late to have that, but if I survive this this part right here, then it won't be too bad. Do I have some? Yes, I do. Okay, yeah, so the blacksmith is just like a big stone hammer, and the handyman is a wood mallet. They look too similar to me. They have too similar of a thing going on. Oh man. Oh, I think I'm just dead here, but we're going to go ahead and swap this stuff out for the melee and hope that I don't die. Ooh, no, I'm losing too much health, so we're about to dump all of my extra funds that I have sitting around into shields. And boy, that is still just going down so fast. I don't even know how much damage I do melee. I don't know if that's even worth it. Yeah, I'm just dead. Alright, well that was way longer than I meant to play this anyway. Oh my gosh, it's already been almost an hour and a half. Oh, man. Plagues of Oblivion. Oh, I should show you the skills thing. Here it is. Here's the points. I can upgrade my base health, skill points, and then just like damage stuff. And then at the end you can do negative survivor spawn, and then more enemies spawn, and then just difficulty overall, so you can make things worse for yourself with the last three for some reason. I don't know why you'd want to do that. The game doesn't feel all that easy for certain. Like, it feels like it just closes in instantly, and then once it does, it's over. There's nothing. I never really know why. Like, I don't know what aspect of my build failed for all those enemies to suddenly close in like that. I don't know what crowbar quality is. It doesn't explain it. I looked at this menu before I ever started the game, and I thought maybe there's some kind of survival aspect, like The Last Stand does in the second one, where you have some nighttime thing that you go through. But no. So the only thing I can think is maybe upgrading this means you have to click the chest fewer times to have it open, which is shut up, stupid, made up, time wasting non-gameplay. You'll see dark damage here and spell damage, and we'll get to that. This is Plagues of Oblivion stuff. It doesn't exist before that. You can upgrade crit damage, but not crit chance. Kind of lame. Starting crates. Yeah, all of this doesn't feel like that big of a deal, really. The skill points seem to be the thing that really I care about the most here. I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade my base stuff. Also, you can upgrade the percentage of equipment, melee, and gun damage, but not the base damage like you can with the elemental stuff. I was doing electric, so I'll go ahead and max that out, and I guess I'll just throw some on fire, and some on explosive. Oh, and I still have enough for another one. Maybe poison? Yeah, we'll do poison and ice. Why not? We'll just spread it around. I do like that you can refund these anytime you want and reallocate them. That's nice. But none of this stuff really feels all that game-changing, to be quite honest, besides these three basics at the start. These three feel the most important. Everything else seems like, whatever. Because, I mean, I have plus 10% gun damage, but the minigun was doing, what, 12 damage? So, what does plus 10% do for me there? Nothing. Percentage just feels pointless. I want the base number to be higher, because the percentage doesn't matter until I hit 100 damage, because then that's 10 extra damage, and that matters. But 1 or 2 extra damage does not matter. It matters a little more on the minigun with a high rate of fire, because you're getting in a higher ammunition, because you're getting more in over time. But it's just it doesn't feel like it really matters all that much, regardless. Plagues of Oblivion, of which I haven't even played the second and third thing, is the same exact game. The only difference is now you have spells. Here's the thing though, spells and the new items that come along with spells, which are increased max mana, increased mana regeneration, it's literally just guns, but you put spell on it instead. Like, yeah, they do things that guns wouldn't do, but it's a video game. It doesn't matter. Have stupid made up guns. Who cares? As long as it's fun, who cares? So that means you now have items, you now have weapons that are in a different class, but now you have item slots being wasted for things that you already had. So now you have, instead of ammunition, instead of an ammo upgrade, you have a max mana upgrade. Instead of a reload speed, you have a mana regeneration speed, but it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. In fact, when you have a spell, the UI doesn't change. It still shows you the whole ammunition thing with bullets beside it. It's exactly the same, but you're wasting more item slots in your merchant and your trader for things that do the same thing but have a different name. Because why? I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. I like the spells that got added. The spells that got added, the weapons, are neat. And some of the new items are actually unique and decent. Like there's one that makes it to where when you fire a weapon, you also fire 2 additional rounds in like a triangular shaped pattern on either side. The best thing about that one is that it doesn't use more ammo to fire those 2 extra shots. Whereas the backfire that I pick, and I only put on the flamethrower and the melee weapons, does make you use additional ammo to fire that extra round backwards. That's lame. That should be changed. If we're gonna have one that lets us fire 2 more shots and not use ammo, the one that makes you fire around behind you should not use ammo. It's a bad idea to have these new cool things and then you have to wait for specific items that are less likely to show up because you've added more items overall. It's just, I really don't understand what the thought process was behind that when spells are just weapons and just used the same way guns are. You just put them in your weapon slot at the front of your person and that's it. It's not an additional thing. You don't get a mana bar. You still have the same ammunition thing. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing, but with a different name, so that you have to worry about other things. That also means you have more skills now, because now you have skills that do mana regeneration and stuff, that do spell damage. You now have more skills to take up slots so that you're less likely to get the one you need. It's a shame, because I like at least the one ability that was added, and I like the spells that were added. They're neat, they're different, they're unique, but the rest of it was just not good. Not a good implementation of the idea. There should have been more to it than that if you wanted to split them. Otherwise, they should just be weapons. They should just be guns. That's enough. I've already been doing this for far too long, so let's just go ahead and get to it. I like this game. It has issues, obviously. It has a decent amount of issues. The lack of clarity being the biggest one and being important. That is a huge issue. A lack of clarity in a game like this, especially like this, a roguelike where you're swapping your inventory out. It's so important to be clear what everything does. People want to see all of the information. They want to see the stats. They want to see damage, fire rate, reload speed. They want to see that information, make that information available by scrolling over the character. It's desperately needed. It would make the game so much better to play, so much more fun. You could actually plan things out better rather than having to turn on damage numbers, look at your damage, and then turn it back off so you can play the game normally. I really like this game though. It is fun. This game is fun to play. I enjoy it. It's not very complex, but it is very unclear, but it is fun. Unfortunately, well, let's see. Let's go to the store page, right? You gotta do it for the price. It's only a $2 game. It's only a $2 game, and despite what you see here, it says Plagues of Oblivion extra. This DLC is just cosmetics that don't matter because you don't even see them in the game anyway. The DLC is just cosmetics because the expansion he made was free. It was added on for free. A $2 game where the guy's making free additional content and adding it, I like it. I really do, and it's good. But man, that lack of clarity makes me want to say 2, and the gross UI and some of the decisions really make me want to say 2 because it's less than stellar, but I would still recommend it, is the thing. Even if I do say 2 instead of 3 and saying it's just an average game, which it kind of is too. The spell stuff is neat. I mean, look at it. Look at it going on right there. It's neat. The spells are cool. I just wish it wasn't the way it is. Even if I pick a 2, even if I say this game's a 2, I would still recommend it to people who like roguelikes, who like this like one tower defense standoff thing. And I do like it. And anyone who thinks they might like it probably will like it. And for only $2, it's worth it. It's worth a shot. But it's still not like a stellar game. So I'm torn. I'm torn here on what to give it, because I do think it is below average, but still fun and recommended. I mean, you're allowed to enjoy stuff that isn't great, right? And you're allowed to enjoy crap. There's some stuff that's so jank and messed up, I'd probably give it a 0, but I would still play it, and I would still enjoy it, because I just like some stuff. So I think that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with 2, but I'd still recommend this one. That's it. God bless.